Boom, what's up y'all, it's Toe, and we back again with another video. Today, I got my special 7-1 knockdown build. This build is crazy. It's definitely good if you don't have a lot of cat breakers and you're trying to get a feel for the game, especially for Christmas time. This is a perfect build for that. Now, there's a couple of special things about this build. One, you get very high shooting, you get very high passing, you get amazing finishing, and the physicals are decent, and that's one thing, it's unique. Like, you're not going to see a lot of people with this type of build and what you can do with it and the animations and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. So the word of the day is Romans chapter 10, verse 9 in the King James Bible, for it says that if thou confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath risen him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. A lot of times people try to make salvation so much harder than it actually is. They try to think they gotta, clean up their life or, things like that. All you need to do is believe that Jesus is Lord and that he died for our sins. That's all you need to do, and God will take care of the rest. So don't make it too hard. And remember, Christmas is about Jesus and it's not so much about presents and things like that. So remember that. Remember, Jesus loves you. And let's finish with the rest of the video. So here go the physicals. Position the center. You can only do center because it's 7'1". Height 7'1". Minimum weight, so 220, and minimum wingspan. You might think it's a little weird, but I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it. So a couple things to note. One, this build gets an 81 driver dunk, which 80 is all you really need. But 81 driver dunk. If you wanted to get your rebounding higher, you have to put a little bit more weight on. But I recommend just keeping minimum wingspan because this is an offensive heavy build. You can still play decent defense and get rebounds and stuff, because the height and you make sure that you're rebounding and things like that, boxing out. But again, this is offensive heavy. This is mainly to score. This build is made to be the main scorer, or one of the main scorers in the game. It's used to either draw a lot of attention, either by dunking or shooting. So you can actually, draw a lot of attention by shooting, and also when you get the attention, you can also kick it out. So that's what the purpose of this build as well. So a couple things to note: for the 88 close shot, you get float game on gold, hook specials on gold. I believe that the close shots and layups on this game are broken. So that's something that I think a lot of people they go crazy on. But again, don't put all your baskets in there because they might patch you later on. So that's something that you try to think about. 70 driver layup is decent. You get physical finisher on bronze with the strength. The 80 driving dunk with the bronze posterizer, I definitely like it a lot. I usually up my posterizer up to silver, but one thing I've noticed, when you are a taller build, it's a lot easier to dunk on people, especially if you got the lane open. So that's one thing that makes this build unique. It's 7-1, and you can get the quick drop off one animation. So I love the dunk animation as well. Also, one thing to note, one thing that's special about this build as well, is you can get a 90 standard dunk with one cap breaker. So with that, you can raise the rise up from silver to gold, and you can get the elite contact dunks. Now I'm telling you, this will make the build over the top, because a lot of times with the builds being taller, it's hard to keep up with them. So if you get that lane, it's GG's, right? So then we got the 87 push control. Now you could do this. I did it personally before the dribbling aspects of it. So you get post up forward on gold, post fade phenom on Hall of Fame, unpluckable on silver. Which, to be honest, you don't really need unpluckable in this game, but it's always help. You never know what happens with a patch or something like that. But again, the main part of it is if you protect the ball, so you have the ability to help with the not get fucked as easy. So let's go ahead and go to the shooting. So you have a 93 mid range, 64 3, and a 91 free throw. Now you may be saying 64 3. I thought this build could shoot. It definitely can. One thing that I saw on YouTube, which if you do your research, you can find this stuff. If you have if you're like 7 foot and up, if you have your 3 to like a 64, you can use 5 cap breakers and upgrade it from a 64 to a 90. That's the main thing about this build. So whenever we use those those extra abilities, be able to put to different spots. So at the end, when you do the cap purchase, you will get a 93 and a 93 mid range. So you're gonna shoot lights out wherever you at. And with the jump shot, which I'll be showing later on, the jump shot with this build makes this build almost unstoppable. So anyway, so you get no Deadeye, a Hall of Fame 6-star specialist, and you get, again, we mentioned post Faith Phenom. So again, the shooting on this build is crazy because where it's at one, because you're 7'1", you're taller, and one thing that it's been in the game forever, the hands attribute is very, very important, which I mentioned that later on. But with the combination of you being tall and you be able to dex, you can definitely dex on this build. It makes it super hard to try to contain. I mean, for someone to contain if you have the right jump shot. So let's go ahead and get to the playmaking. So we have a 92 passing accuracy, we have a 71 ball handle, and we have a 58 speed with ball. So with the 92 passing accuracy, you get bailout on silver, you get break starter on gold, versatile visionary on gold, and dimer on Hall of Fame. So a couple things to note, I definitely think that you don't have to go to 92. I just like having higher passing. But 87 is perfectly fine. But I just didn't have anywhere else to really like put attributes that I thought would be useful. So, but I do like this 92 passing accuracy. I do think that it's very valuable as you a center, so you can get passes down the court, but you're still gonna get some random janky passes anyway. But one thing that's special about this build is the 71 ball handling at 7'1". So the only way you can get that is with having the minimum wingspan. That's why it's so important to make sure you have the minimum wingspan. One, with the shooting, and two, with the ball handling. So with that, you can actually get KD dribble styles. So you can basically, KD dribble styles, and I can't remember the other dribble styles. But basically, you can do a little bit of ISO with this build. That's one thing that makes this build so unique. A lot of times, you have to, 7 foot or mainly 6'11" to get those animations, but you can do some damage with this, especially with the Giannis step back and things of that nature. It makes this build super, super fun. Oh, one thing I was talking about too. So one attribute that's very important is the hand attribute. So that is related to your passing accuracy and your ball handling. When you have whichever one's the highest, that's what your hand attribute is, what helps you get a lot better clean catches, and that is what makes you able to dex so much easier, because you get a lot of clean catches, and it kind of snaps you in position. And then with the jump shot that I'll show later on, it makes it so hard to contest. It really is. Like, you have to be in the air before I shoot it, so you can get a contest. If not, it's GG. So I mean, that's one thing that's great about this build. Let's go ahead and get to the defense. So the interior defense is an 80, the perimeter defense is a 67, the steals is 37, and the block is an 84. So a couple things to note: you get for the interior defense, you get paint patrol, or the interior defense in the block, you get paint patroller on silver. So you have to make sure you have the 77 interior defense and you have to make sure you have a 70 interior defense and 84 a block. So that's one of the reasons why it's important to have that. I've learned that because I usually have like around a 90 block for my builds. I'm learning it's basically useless. Like, you can get pretty decent contests with the 84 block. As long as you timing things right, you can get decent contests most of the time. With the 67 perimeter defense, it's decent. You don't get any badges. But one thing about you being tall and the block attributes, it helps you get a lot of contests too. Again, a lot of times when you're playing, I play on ball defense. I play the perimeter. I'm moving around. Even at 7'1", I'm still have the ability to play defense. Now, I'm not saying that the build attribute is useless, but a lot of times it's how you play with the build. A lot of people try to make excuses. And I actually don't even have this up all the way. It's still like at 25 right now. But I'm making decisions on time, and it's about gameplay. So that's one of the good things about this build as well. So let's go ahead and get to the rebounder. So one of the biggest weaknesses with this build is the rebounder. Now, it's definitely workable, but it's one of the things that if you know how to play and you know how to box out, you won't have that much issues. So So the offensive rebounding, you get 80 offensive rebounding and then 83 defensive rebounding, which you get rebound chaser and box out beats on silver. So one of the things I use to help mitigate this weakness is my takeovers. So I actually I think I upgrade my 3 and my defensive rebound. So I think it goes up by like 7 or 8 or whatever. So with that and I also upgrade my rebound chaser to gold with the max +1. So with that combination and being 7-1, you can definitely still get boards. I mean, I've gotten 17 boards, 15 boards, 10 boards. So it's definitely workable. You just have to make sure that you're doing the dirty work to get yourself in the position. So with the physicals, there's nothing crazy. You get a 72 speed, a 60 agility, 65 strength. I have officially moved over to the no strength team. I don't think is needed in this game. And again, the whole purpose of this build is to be offensive minded. So so that's I think you use your own judgment with that, but that's one of the build ways that we're able to do what we can with this build. And also we got an 83 vertical. So that's all about the attributes. Let's go and check out the build name. So the build name is a mid-paint Maestro. So the only weaknesses talking about is probably talking about strength. Yeah, talking about perimeter defense and strength. So, but I'm telling you, this build is definitely fun. It is definitely my favorite build right now. Usually my 7-foot build is my favorite build, but I'm telling you, This build definitely has the ability to take over games. I've done it multiple times, and like I said before, it attracts a whole lot of attention with open things up. So let's go ahead and look at the cap breakers that we mentioned. All right, so these are my cap breakers that I've had on this build right now. So as you can see, I have a 93, like I said, with the cap breakers. So all you need is 5 cap breakers. That's the minimum you need for this build. And like I mentioned before, you can get the standard dunk up to a 90, was it 94? But again, 90 standard dunk is beautiful. I don't even have it. I don't even have that. I think right now my build's only a 70. I'll show you my attributes later on. You can upgrade your pass accuracy up a little bit. You can upgrade your block. But again, this build is definitely, as long as you got the 5 cap breakers, this build is nice off the rip. So here is my actual attributes. If you notice, I don't even have this passed in 85. And this, I'm telling you, to be honest, I don't really need to upgrade anything else, because like how I've been playing, I mean, I've been playing great. I mean, I know the standard may seem low, but generally, I think we're with the height difference, and if I'm in front of you, you're not gonna block it. You're not gonna block it at all. The close shot, even though the close shot is slow, I don't have any issues finishing in the paint. But that's the beauty about this thing. So again, with the passing accuracy, if you did upgrade to 85, you'll be perfectly fine. I definitely make sure that you upgrade the mid-range and the 3, so you can get the badges up that you need. And like I said, I only have my rebound all the way up as well. Don't have no strength. I don't plan on putting the strength on. But I tell you, this build is so much fun. It is nasty, and like I said, it's budget. You don't even have to max out the build, to get the bang for your buck. So it's definitely, so if you're looking for a build that you're not trying to spend a whole lot of money on, and you just you're trying to get an easy ease of entry, this would be the perfect build you can do, especially for kids. If they they're trying to go out. Before we go, I'm going to show you my secret jump shot. Well, not secret jump shot. There's no jump shot secret. But I'm going to show you my jump shot that makes this build go over the top. All right, here's the jump shot. So the base is Michael Porter Jr. and the release is Kevin Durant. It's 100% Kevin Durant release. I think that's one of the best releases in the game, especially when it comes to contest. When he's shooting, the ball goes basically behind his head, so it's very hard to get the contest. The reason why I went with the Michael Porter Jr. jump shot is because it is a very quick jump shot. But I mean, it's not too quick, but it's a quick jump shot. You get a lot of elevation, and it's very poppy and snappy, and it's very hard to contest this all rip. So I have mine set to set point, and I've given up on rhythm shooting. I've been on the rhythm shooting team, and this has been so inconsistent since that patch in like season 1 or 2 or whatever. But I just do I just do, regular shooting, and the quickness of the release, and the elevation of it doesn't seem like that right here, but you can definitely shoot over top of people. If you are 7 foot 7'9", unless you are jumping at me, I'm shooting right over you. And if you are 7 foot or whatever, if you got to make sure you're there, or I'm still shooting in your face. So that's, make sure you try the jump shot out. Try it out for a little bit. And the release point of this is basically when the ball kind of gets right on top of my afro. One reason why I have the afro, when it gets right on top of the afro, that's when you release it with the set point. So again, try the jump shot out, and the combination with this and everything with the build, this build is lights out. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I make another build or any gameplays. So I got for y'all. Remember, Jesus love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.